Everybody's scouring the waiver wire, trying to find that next backup running back that's going to be anointed for the starting job. Just in case the starter goes down, which one do I want to pick up? Today, we're going to go over the top lottery ticket handcuff running backs that you can pick up right now. And this is all going to be to your preference, because you may want to just cuff your starter or pick up a lottery ticket that has a lot of upside. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We go deeper on the waiver wire than any other YouTube channel out there. Multiple videos throughout the week. We deep dive all the trending players so you know their situation, the advanced analytics, so you can make your choice on them. On top of that, we help you set your lineups. We do player rankings, and we go over every single matchup throughout the week. Click that button. Stop missing out. The first running back we're talking about today, it's got a lot of buzz going on, and that's Kendre Miller, because Alvin Kamara was held out practice, and he might be on the move. He might not be on the move. There's a lot of trade rumors, and on top of that, he's starting to see a bump up in work. He's starting to see some production, not enough where you can comfortably use him, but you're also seeing the advanced metrics pop out a little bit. 4.3 yards per carry, 3.89 yards after contact per attempt, 5 carries to 10 plus yards or more, has a carry of 15 yards or more. You're seeing some good things here in his prospect profile, where if he ever gets the starting job, he could be fantasy viable. It could be up and down due to the game scripts. You look at the Saints, you know they're unpredictable game to game to game, but still, starting running back is a starting running back. And if you can forecast a running back that could potentially get the starter role, or if he does get the starter role and pop off, that's one you want to lean into. Bhayshul Tuten. He should be rostered in a lot of leagues, but also we're starting to play hot potato with the waiver wire with some of these handcuff running backs. He's not getting a ton of touches. Travis Etienne's the man, but if Travis Etienne ever goes down, Bhayshul Tuten's the next man up. Everybody's going to blow the fab on him if he's on the waiver wire. I'm talking big time percentages dropped on him, just like Trey Benson. He's been getting a lot of hype throughout the year. 4.3 speed. People are excited about him, and we're seeing him produce here and there, but he's not getting enough workload. Travis Etienne's holding him back, but still, this is another handcuff lottery ticket running back that could smash on you. Blake Corum, he made a mistake last week, but so didn't Kyren Williams. A lot of people are going to be looking at that, but we've been getting touches here. Week 3, we got 8 carries. Week 4, 9 carries, 4 targets. A little bit less against San Francisco. That game script was tight, but you're looking at what he's doing on the field. 5.5 yards per carry, 2.75 yards after contact per attempt. You look at tape, he's looking good. He's smashing. He's very explosive. 2 carries of over 15 yards, 7 carries of over 10 yards on just 24 rushing attempts. Blake Corum's been smashing, and if Kyren Williams goes down, he's going to be getting the work. Hunter has not been getting any work. He's not listed here. These are the numbers for the season. And you're going to see Blake Corum get anointed if something happens to Kyren Williams. So if you want to stash a lottery ticket, this is one of the top ones. Tyler Allgeier. If you don't want to mess with the young guys, you want a veteran that you can predict if something does happen to Bijan Robinson or the starting running back, Tyler Allgeier's your man, because he's getting workload. He has 3 games with 10 carries or more. You know he's going to get a lot of touches up the gut. Former 1,000-yard rusher. He's very dependable. He's a safe player. He's actually a top lottery ticket stash. He's just not as sexy as the young, ambiguous running backs. Caleb Johnson. Now, he might have been released to your waiver wire. He's the RB3 on this team. This team's not fast-paced. We saw Kenneth Gainwell hit, but Arthur Smith's going to Arthur Smith. Injuries happen. It's the running back position, and this is a running back drafted in the 3rd round that the team wanted to give a lot of touches to once he's developed. He only has 62 pass blocking snaps over his 3-year career at Iowa, and the leading target getter on that team last year only had 46 targets. He does not have any experience really pass blocking. His grades are low. He hasn't allowed a sack. He only allowed like 4 hurries on his career. It's just he doesn't get many opportunities back then to pass block, so he's very inexperienced. So he's still learning to do that and a lot of the little things because he was the whole offense for Iowa. So that being said, from what we saw at training camp, him getting extra work, doing the little things like pass blocking, this is not a surprise. On top of this being Arthur Smith here, he likes to have the running backs play certain roles, and it's going to take some time for him. This could be a next year pick type of scenario. This could be week 10, 11, 12, when they just let him loose. But if you want to stash play, there's a lot of upside here because he's got a lot of meat and potatoes to him as a runner. Yards after contact per attempt, getting it in the open field, one of the tops in college football last year. Ollie Gordon, we know the story here. Dolphins move the football. We get into the red zone. We might crash with a touchdown. If Achane goes down, he's the next man up in this offense. And this is an offense where you want the running back in because they get a lot of work around the red zone. Ollie Gordon, former Doak Walker Award winner, one of the top running backs in college football, came on strong during training camp and preseason, has looked good on the field during preseason, although he's not getting much work. Devin Achane's just a beast. He's solid. But if the beast has to take a nap, Ollie Gordon's ready. Sean Tucker did not get much work last week. 3 rushing attempts, 3 yards. It's the Rachaad White show. He's more of the next man up. If White goes down, we saw that last year. But still, this is a decorated running back prospect. One of the top running backs in college football at his time. Fell out of the draft due to a heart condition. Had to work his way back up to this point on the depth chart. He's starting to get work and opportunities. You're not starting him at all unless you're in a dire situation. But if something happens to Rachaad White right now, Sean Tucker, next man up, and he's got the talent to take it. Ray Davis is a very talented running back prospect. He's good between the tackles. We saw it last year. He had a few games where he hit RB2 status. When Cook was out last year, he was the man in the offense. Ty Johnson, sneaky play to look at as well because he gets work in the passing game. He's very explosive. There will be a lot of controversy again. Cook goes out between those two running backs. Ray Davis, drafted last year in the middle rounds. Showed off some good talent last year. James Cook's so good. He's keeping both these running backs at bay. Manny Wilson starting to get some touches. He had some games last year where he scored in the double digits in PPR. He'll probably have a few games this year as well. If Josh Jacobs goes down, he's the next man up. He's dependable. He's been with this team for a while. He's been solid. 3.6 yards after contact per attempt. 4.9 yards per carry. I get it, 15 carries, but with the workload that he's getting, he's making something out of it. He's got 1 carry of 10 plus yards on 15 carries. That's a good rate considering Josh Jacobs just has 6 on 80 carries. That's something to pay attention to. Something happens to Jacobs, you're going to want Wilson. Giddens. If something happens to Taylor, you're going to want him. If something happens to Taylor, everyone's blowing fab on him. No ifs, ands, or buts. Does not matter what he's doing on field. He's doing fine considering he's not getting much work. He hasn't had a lot of work since week 1. But he's the running back that's consistently getting on the field. They do have other running backs on this team that could mess with him in terms of touches like Amir Abdullah. He's done that before on other rosters. But this is a decorated prospect from Kansas State. Very explosive, good size, can catch the ball in the backfield. You're going to want him if Jonathan Taylor goes down one way or the other to flip or do whatever with Kyle Money Guy. We've been watching him a lot. He's been playing behind DeAndre Swift, holding Rashawn Johnson at bay for a late-round pick at Rutgers. That's a good thing to see. Latest in terms of workload, 7 carries, 6 and 4. We're getting a little bit of volume. You can't put him in lineups right now unless it's a dire situation. If Swift goes down, everybody's going to want him. That's the thing about that. Everyone's blowing fab. If I got Swift and I'm depending on him heavy, maybe. But there's also a bunch of other lottery ticket running backs you might like more. Isaiah Davis is behind Breece Hall. He's not getting a lot of work. He did run on 40% of the snaps, 1 carry. Breece Hall's just going to get more work and more opportunities. But if Breece Hall goes down, Isaiah Davis, next man up, even though he's not a Breece Hall, he's a guy that has a decorated profile from South Dakota State at the FCS level. Good production profile. A guy that could stand out if given enough opportunity. But again, you'd be chasing volume at that point. But volume is what you would want on a team that wants to run the football a lot. Brian Robinson. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, you're going to want him. They're not using the other running backs right now. Isaac Guerendo's not getting touches. Brian Robinson, next man up. And running backs that have to step in tend to do well behind this offensive line. Brian Robinson, if I got Christian McCaffrey, I'm going to want him. And if not, and I'm looking for a veteran running back that I feel a little safe with, Brian Robinson would be it. Huddle running backs. These running backs need more dominoes to fall for us to be able to use them in fantasy, but they got some upside to their name, or they're so ambiguous in something in their prospect profile from college that gets us excited, where if they get that opportunity, they could flash or get so much buzz off the trade market that you can flip them quick. Brashard Smith, we're watching the workload every single week. We did not fire in week 5, even though we got a lot of buzz in the media from the coaching staff and Patrick Mahomes. We did get 3 targets, 7 targets over his last 2 games. That's a positive considering weeks 3, 2, and 1. So we are starting to get more work. We are starting to get more opportunities. We are starting to run more routes. That's what you want to see. He's not going to take over this backfield and take it over touch after touch after touch unless they're in a dire situation. There's also trade rumors, but he could also see a period where he's running more routes, seeing more targets, being moved around the offense a little bit more, especially back in the season. This is a late round pick that they thrusted in with the starters in preseason and in training camp because he's a different position really than the other running backs. He's more of a weapon here, and we're watching the touches and targets. Not yet if you're looking for a guy who's a next man up or looking for a guy for lineups as a throw-in. But if you're looking to hold for multiple weeks, Brashard Smith, Upside City. Same thing with Jaydon Blue. He played his first game last week, was out there on 18% of the snaps. He's a raw running back prospect that got banged up in training camp, so that makes him extra raw. But what we like about him is he's got 4.3 speed. He can catch the ball in the backfield. Javonte Williams is holding it down this year, so I don't expect him to experiment with these touches. But running backs get banged up. Running backs get hurt, running backs going to running back, and also they might be in situations where they may want to use him more once we get into double-digit weeks. He's a long-term hold. That's if you can do it. MarShawn Lloyd, he's a different type of long-term hold because you can put him on IR. Now, if you're looking at all these lottery ticket running backs, you already got one, and there's another one here that interests you, and you also are interested with MarShawn Lloyd, you could pick him up, put him to IR, pick up that other lottery ticket running back, put him in that spot. Or if you like the guy that you had to drop there, maybe you can pick him back up next week when things roll out. Maybe. Or maybe you just get something comparable. There's a lot of lottery ticket running backs, and really it's the risk of the starter getting hurt. Jabroni running backs hold value when the starter gets hurt. Trey Sermon last year hit once out of those 3 games. We saw Michael Carter hit last week. Even though his yards per carry sucked, his yards after contact was less than 2, but he got it through volume. Volume can get you to fantasy production. MarShawn Lloyd's good production profile at USC. On top of that, killed at the combine. He's very explosive, very ambiguous. Has not proved us anything because he's been banged up last year and this year. Hasn't proved he's good or bad for the NFL, the Packers, or for fantasy football. Tahj Brooks, record setter at Texas Tech. Chase Brown is starting to, I would say, warm up. I wouldn't say heat up, maybe warm up. Like, we got the steak in there, and we're at medium low, and we're starting to get it there. We're starting to get it there. We're starting to turn it up a little bit, but we're not going to heat up just yet. Not with Joe Flacco. But if they want to make some changes, and they may think about making some changes, or they may want to use them a little bit more down the line once we get into double-digit weeks. Remember, Chase Brown was in his scenario once, and we were watching him every week. Tahj Brooks is now in the Chase Brown chair. His time might be coming. Keaton Mitchell, shotgun running back. Of course, everybody's going to chase Justice Hill. Of course, he'd be the guy off the fab. So that's part of this analysis too. But Keaton Mitchell will be a little bit cheaper. Everybody's going to want him. Shotgun running back can get it for you on one touch, and that's all he really needs. He's never going to be the back that gets all the touches. Made his debut last week, got 1 target, 3 rushing attempts. So-so, ho-hum. We got a bye week coming up. This team looks wrecked right now. Keaton Mitchell might be getting more opportunities later in the year. Isaac Guerendo, another shotgun running back, just can get you big points on 1 or 2 touches. We saw it last year. And it might be a committee if something happens to Christian McCaffrey, or he might start seeing like 9% of the opportunities like Brian Robinson is seeing, which isn't much, but is a lot for him. And considering what he can do on the field, Jalen Wright's another shotgun running back, not seeing anything when it comes to snaps. Ollie Gordon's that good. But shotgun running backs only need a couple carries. If you're interested in that, that's a player to look at as we're rolling into week 6. Let me know who's your handcuff running back that you're looking at. There's a bunch of them, different ways, different strategies. You can cuff your starter. You can really play the stock market. You can play them to trade later if they get anointed, or you like a player that has a lot of upside. Million ways to play it. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.